Welcome to Single Leg Parlay. I am here for the week 2 of the college football season recap. We got a lot of information to go through. We're going to go through best teams. We're going to give out the Kaiser Sozes. We're going to do all of that. But before we can do anything, I got Andy, I got Danny, I got Al, I got Sunshine. We got a full house, and we're going to drink a beer. Go Beers.
Beers.
Beers are always my favorite team.
They always win. They always win.
Never let you
The
down.
only time Beers lose is when they score too much.
Oh, that's true. That's true. So a little bit of last week in review. TikTok bets, we went 4-3 on our regular bets, but if you did that money line round robin, you got some money in your pocket. You got PlayStation 5 money in your pocket. You know what I'm saying? We went 5-1 on that, which is remarkably good, and that's a nice little return. Talking about our best bets last week, we were 1-2, which is unfortunate. But overall, as a team, I think we were 59%. Maybe someone can help me out there. We were 59.5% as a team, but our best bets did not hit at that high of a rate. Al did take home a best bet with New Mexico State plus 22.5. Andy had Bama minus 31. Almost got there. And my Mississippi State plus 6.5, as I was being a dick last week and talking about contrarian numbers, lost by that half. But the stats came in last week. We did pretty well. Al was 8-5, pretty strong. Andy was 5-4. Danny was 500 at 6-6, and your boy at 6-2 took down the whole week. So I kicked ass. You guys can all celebrate me. Thank you. I deserve it. Let's go into the week and recap. There were some really weird performances, guys. A lot of games with small spreads were blowouts. And a lot of games with big-ass spreads were close or the underdogs won. With that in mind, what team impressed you this month? What team impressed you the most this week? Andy.
So I'm actually going to switch it up. I'm going to go off book. I know I have something different in the spreadsheet, but I'm going to change it, and I'm going to say Texas impressed me the most. They went on the road to the Big House, and they beat the shit out of Michigan. Michigan didn't know if they were coming or going. They were better in the trenches. Michigan couldn't get any offense going. Texas looked like a powerhouse. I'm ready to say it. Texas is back.
They looked back. And Michigan looked shook. I'm going to do mine. Al, why don't you show me who you got?
Yeah, I am going to go with South Carolina. I did not expect them to beat Kentucky, much less just whoop the dog shit out of them. I only caught a couple highlights from that game, but it was a bloodbath. So props to whoever's coaching South Carolina these days.
Yeah, Shane Beamer. Shane Beamer got the boys up and ready. Yeah, that defensive line looked nasty. Fucking nasty. Yeah. I watched a little bit of that game because I thought it was going to be exciting, and I turned it on. I was like, no, I'm going to watch Notre Dame and Northern Illinois or any of the other randomness going on with college football.
Oh, my God.
Northern Illinois did not impress me.
No. You played pretty damn well, all things considered.
Notre Dame.
Danny, who you got?
The team impressed me the most was actually Illinois. I thought we're expecting a huge drop-off in the defense. Again, well, from 2 years ago, but for that drop off to maintain, but they played pretty well. And then their cute little quarterback just dropping dimes all over the place. Dude's like, what, 5'8" or something?
He's adorable.
Yeah.
He's so small.
He looks like he's cosplaying as a quarterback.
He does.
Yeah, he does.
I think that video was a bad angle because I've never really thought of him as particular. He's slender for sure, but he's not that short, I don't think. That video was a very bad angle.
The linemen were in their stances.
Well, you know what they say, the camera subtracts about 55 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
I need more cameras on me.
Yeah, according to Bing, he's 6'2".
Yeah, it's camera angle then.
I know my nomination is Ole Miss. I don't know why Lane Kiffin is doing this. He is leaving in Jackson Dart to play all the snaps. My guess would be he wants to get a Heisman. He wants to have a Heisman Trophy winner under his tutelage. because he is being merciless right now, and he's kicking the shit out of people. He'll be up by 45 and not take the starters out. And damn it, I love it because I'm going to keep betting Ole Miss Giant spreads until they don't pay off. So Ole Miss was my nomination. I'm really impressed. They look fucking good. Chris, who do you have for team who impressed you the most this week?
The Florida State Seminoles, Matt.
It was a good
They went into week 2 strong. They didn't waver. They
Nope.
didn't lose. They didn't turn the ball over.
Not a single turnover.
Not a
They
single
didn't give up
fucking
a single
turnover.
yard.
Didn't give up a fucking yard.
How many teams can say they did that this week?
However, many were also on bye.
And the best part is they only lost 2 recruits. So that's really good. They could have lost more. So
Way to
were
go,
they at the
Randy
Florida
Shannon.
game?
both defensive linemen, which we could use.
Oh,
But
shit.
yes, it was a good week to be a Seminole fan. This
Dennis
week,
Briggs Jr. had a nice stack on
I-
Saturday.
he did.
I don't know if I should say that I'm impressed that this happened. I've seen it happen over and over throughout the years, but it was pretty impressive to watch Alabama almost give up a loss and then tear back and look like if you just saw that score, they dominated that game. But that happened in the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter.
They
It
sure did.
felt like those games where Patrick Mahomes is like losing, and then all of a sudden he just decides, okay, we're gonna win now, and then he scores 14 points right away, and all of a sudden they're on top, and the other team can't do anything. It kind of felt like that, where Alabama just like couldn't do shit, and then all of a sudden they decided they could do shit. Was it
Well,
Willis?
And the weird part was USF didn't play that well. Alabama was just playing really poorly. Like, I know Brown, their quarterback, can be great. He didn't play that great in that game. And I know Alabama is Alabama, right? It's going to be a substantial challenge. But they weren't getting crushed. It just was Alabama was playing poorly. And like you said, just turned it on.
Yep.
No problem at all.
Yeah.
It was almost a great week for the MAC, though, right? This was almost like a MAC signature week. You got Northern Illinois beating Notre Dame. You got Bowling Green putting Penn State against the ropes, the team I was most impressed with in week 1. It was a banger of a college football week. It was one of those ones you don't forget. OK State was against the ropes. Oklahoma was against the ropes. Oregon, I thought Oregon lost that game. I fell asleep confident Oregon lost the game, and I woke up. And a team, this is one that's like on the periphery, Liberty. Liberty, I thought, had lost the game. New Mexico State was cruising. I don't even know how they won. Mathematically, I don't understand how they won because they were down the whole game, and they must have scored with like 19 seconds left. It was a hell of a week. And that brings us to award season, everybody. We got our week 2 awards. So we're going to give out some awards. I'm going to start off with Chris here. Chris, who would you like to give an award to this week?
Well, I'm going to go with the Road Warrior Award. We're going with Texas, just like Andy talked about, marching into the big house, making Michigan their bitch. Like, it was tough to watch the national champions go down like they did, but they did it last season too in week 2 against Alabama. So, like you said, Texas is back.
Texas is back. That team cannot play with a deficit. They are a lead-only team because that offense is bad. Alex Orji? Nope. Nope, that ain't it. The name's funny, and I wish people were talking more about orgies, but they're going to be talking less about it. Let's go.
You know, if that was that's not the first time I've heard orgy. Nope.
Nope. I'm going to go next. My award is the Party Like It's 1963 award. We got Ashton Genty. If no one has watched Ashton Genty and Boise State play, you're really missing out. He has 3 touchdowns of over 70 yards this year. 3 of them. 2 of them came against, one of them came against Oregon, 2 came against Georgia State. He has 6 combined rushing touchdowns. Why is it Party Like 1963? The last time a non-Power 5 team had a member that won the Heisman Award was 1963 when Navy's Roger Staubach won. And I think it could be coming back that way again. He has been spectacular. I know there's some great quarterbacks, Quinn Ewers, Nico, all these guys look good, but Ashton Genty will be in New York City. So Party Like It's 1963 award goes to Ashton Genty. I'm going to go with Danny. What award do you have for us?
I'm giving out the I Shouldn't Have Changed the Channel award. And I'm giving that one to Bama's offensive line because the way they came back was with like 2 40-plus yard runs. They were giving Milrow a ton of time. So, yeah, I'm giving it to Bama's offensive line. Shouldn't have changed the channel. I gave up on him too quick.
You did. Congratulations, Bama offensive line. You did it. You did it. You won that award for sure.
What,
Al.
Bama was losing with like 10 minutes left, and then
Yep.
came within a field goal of covering, and they were 28.5-point favorites.
Yep.
It was crazy.
That's
It
nuts.
happened fast.
Let that be a lesson to you not to abandon the run, I guess.
Nope.
If your roster is stocked with 5-star talent.
Never mind then. Al, who you got?
Yeah, so I've got our first sponsored award. This one is sponsored by Truly. Truly Shocking is the award. I'm giving it to the Iowa Hawkeyes because I am truly shocked that in Kirk Ferentz's return to the sideline, the offense turned into shit. Who could have seen that coming? I tell you what.
Still hit the over.
You know, El Assico was a classico.
Back-to-back overs for Iowa.
Yeah, they
Over 37 all by themselves, and then that one went over 39 by 3 points or something.
Yeah, I mean it's a very low bar to clear.
Rocco Beck looks good. I think he's going to be a legit player for Iowa State. That has nothing to do with Iowa. As long as they run McNamara out there and Kirk Ferentz is at the helm, they ain't doing shit.
I actually have a new theory. I have a new theory here. Kirk Ferentz gave very explicit instruction to whoever was their interim coach last week, and he said, no matter what, you need to stay true to Iowa's golden rule, and that is that there cannot be more than 40 points in a game. The guy just kind of found the loophole and said, if we shut the other team out, we can hang 40, but you're not allowed to go over 40. And so Kirk showed him what he meant in losing 20-19 instead of winning 40-0. But I think that's the rule. You can't score more than 40 in an Iowa game.
For sure.
I like that. I'm gonna cut that and put it in its own segment called Al's Tin Hat Foil Hat Theory.
Andy, you want to end this award season?
Yeah. I'm going to give out the Not Ready for Primetime Award, and I'm giving it to Colorado and Coach Prime.
That's good.
I am ashamed of all of us. Not one of us was on Nebraska last week.
I was.
Yeah, I feel like...
Was somebody? I didn't think anybody was on Nebraska.
I was on Nebraska. I don't know if I gave it out, but I definitely bet that.
Or maybe I was, and then I chickened out. I think I did.
It's not in the spreadsheet.
No, you're not. Yeah, you're right.
Officially, nobody was on them.
You're right.
We called it in the offseason. We said this year is going to be an absolute disaster for Colorado. We actually called it last year that their season was going to be a disaster. But we said in the offseason that by the end of last season, Dion was throwing his players under the bus, blaming them, just had a terrible relationship. He had lost the locker room. And this year, it wasn't going to take till the end of the season for that to happen. And we were exactly right. It's week 2. They lost, and Dion was throwing his players under the bus. Not ready for primetime, Colorado.
Yeah,
I
even said I was going to bet.
Game.
What's that, Dan?
I was saying I really wish they would have lost that first game, so I could have been right about them going winless. They might just get the one.
Yeah, Dylan Raiola looked pretty good. He looked like he may be ready for prime time at 17 years old.
I said week 0, I'm going to be betting on Nebraska and Raiola every week, and then I didn't bet last week. I put it in the sheet, and then I deleted it because I chickened out, and I'm eating crow.
This week could be the last time Colorado's a favorite.
This week could be the last. This week could be the last time Shedeur Sanders plays. How about if I put it that way? Ooh. I think there's a good chance he's going to shut it down if he continues to get sacked and continues to throw his offensive line under the bus. I would be surprised if he gets sacked more and more, and he's just like, you know what? Let's wait for the NFL season. Yeah. He doesn't defend his team, man. He doesn't defend his team.
Isn't there a football movie where the line hates the quarterback, and so they just let the rush past them and let him kill him? Like,
Shane Falco.
That and
Is
yeah,
that what it
well,
is?
Don't
Oh,
they
I
do
was
that in
thinking
Shane
of,
when he's being a dick?
they do something like that. That's
the
what
longest
Colorado's
guard,
going to do
I
to
thought,
Shedeur.
when they found out that the quarterback actually sold his team out for a bet, and then they let. Okay, maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe.
No, I mean, I bet that's happening.
Probably
a lot.
happens in every football game, actually. Every movie.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the Kaiser Soze of the week. That is brought to you by Kaiser Rolls. Now that we're doing sponsors that aren't sponsors, let's go with Al first. Who is your Kaiser Soze?
Oh, it's not so great to be a Michigan Wolverine. Yeah, that's a stinky team. That's a really stinky offense. The defense can hang. They're adequate, but that's a real bad offense. That's not a good team. They're sus.
Andy, who are you putting on Kaiser Soze's list?
I'm actually going to switch it up again here. Sorry, guys.
That's a good one.
I'm
This
going
one you
off.
switched to was in consideration for me.
I'm going to go with SMU. After that first game, was it Nevada? SMU was the first game in week 0, I think. And we said they may be in for a tough season if they're going to look like this all year. They were almost a 2-touchdown favorite, and they lost outright at home, which is you can't do that. You can't do that. They're very, very Kaiser Soze suspect.
Chris, who you got for Kaiser Soze of the week?
Notre Dame.
Yeah, that's
Like, what the hell?
None more is needed.
And I mean, I watched the end of that, and all of a sudden the game was no longer about Notre Dame, but that coach for NIU crying in his press conference. God damn, man.
It was
Love
beautiful.
when a grown man cries.
Yeah.
There was a lot of crying going on in that one because all the Notre Dame fans in the stands were also crying.
As they should have been.
It was a biblical flood, you could say. I do want to ask: is that the game that gets Marcus Freeman fired?
He's
Had
got a
enough
lot
of
of
those
time to
already
make
with
up
Marshall
ground.
and what was the other one that happened? There was one other. I don't remember,
Yeah.
but
I can't remember it either, but I think 3 strikes you're out, and especially at
This is
Notre
the
Dame,
third
they cannot.
oh,
get
Stanford.
So
He's so handsome, though.
He can't have an ugly loss. It's impossible.
I might be a little bit off on this, but it's a stat that I wanted to share with you guys. But
Okay.
I think what they were saying was an FCS team hasn't beat a top 5 team in 61 years.
I think the stat was a MAC. The MAC
MAC, that's what it was.
was 0-51 against top 5 teams. The
Yeah.
MAC had never beat, and they
And
won.
if
So
there's one thing
Good
you
thing,
guys
check the cash.
One thing you guys know about me is I love historical stats.
They're very important.
they are.
MAC teams don't run into Miami when we're back often
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah. Miami's back, guys. Danny, who are you going to make Kaiser Soze this week?
Well, since I changed the channel, Bama. They didn't look very good for, all but the last 10 minutes. So they're getting both my awards.
There is a lot of problems in that passing game. I'll be curious to see how it is. Even how great, we talked about it last week, Ryan Williams is great. He's going to be fucking special. He's already special at 17 years old. You got to find him more often. He's going to be awesome. But I agree. Mine's Oklahoma. All right. So you wanted to give up on Dylan Gabriel. Okay. Seems like you may have made a wise decision. Oregon hasn't looked that great. That probably should be on Kaiser Soze's list as well. You cannot win by 4 points against Houston. UNLV beat Houston by 21 points on the road. You're hosting them at home. You have to do more than that. That was a pathetic showing. And if you're going to be good, that team looks like doo-doo. That team does not look like a team that's a contender. I would choose, if it was on a neutral field of Clemson versus Oklahoma, I would choose Clemson right now, and I think Clemson would kick the shit out of them. Right? Oklahoma ain't it. Not good. They need to get better. They are suspect.
I'm trying to think of like a
Did Houston play
good
well? Sorry.
of a good like correlation here. Brent Venables, someone who's a superb coordinator and awful head coach. Is that like a Bill O'Brien type thing? Although he's kind
Dave
of
Aranda. The head coach at
Baylor,
Baylor, who will be fired soon, was a legendary defensive coordinator at LSU.
Yeah,
Like,
those
no
two
one
dudes
has
should
a
hang
good
out
man.
and drink
How-
a really angry beer together in silence.
How about Nathaniel Hackett?
Oh, yeah? Well, I don't know
Or
if he's a good enough OC to like
Adam
warrant
Gase?
discussion. That's a good one.
Adam Gase.
Adam Gase.
No.
Yeah. Silly
But it
Gase.
happens a lot.
That's what we should call that
because it's
award.
not the same skill set, right? Like they talk about this in
Yeah.
corporate America. You
Correct.
succeed until you're promoted to a place where you're not good at your job, and then you stay there forever.
It honestly, it's like
Except for coaches that get fired.
it's like poison, like spreading throughout all of college sport and professional sports. It's like you take someone who has a very niche role and they do it well, and you're like, oh, well, clearly that's the best way to gauge this completely different job with completely different responsibilities. It's like, I don't know, it's stupid. But I just wanted to pivot real quick back to what Danny said. It's not very funny, in my opinion, to make jokes about top 5 teams losing to MAC teams the week that Miami hosts Ball State.
Ball State, yeah.
So maybe save that joke for like next week.
Oh, so foreshadowing, little
Nah,
speaking
nah,
it into existence.
It'll be right by the halftime, first quarter.
It'll be over in
Oh.
the first 10 minutes for sure.
Clip it.
I mean, we'll see. I don't know, but
Okay, let's go to our next segment. We got a couple more segments for y'all today. The boy, was I wrong. Last week I kicked ass. I was not wrong. I was pretty close with Mississippi State, and I forgot the other game I lost, but I don't feel like I was wrong on either of them. But boy, Andy was wrong. Andy, why were you wrong?
I was so wrong on so many. I changed my answer for this one like 7 times. But I'm going to go with NC State. I said that in that first game, NC State didn't look very good in the first half, but Grayson McCall knocked the rust off in the second half, and he was going to be fine. And then I said, sure, Nico looked great in his first game, but it was against a nobody. Wait till he sees a real Power 5 team. I was getting 8.5 points with NC State, and it was close the most of the first half. And then Tennessee won by 1,000. Yeah, I was so wrong.
Dude, Tennessee looks really good.
They do.
Some would say they look nice. I believe the final was 69-3.
Oh,
Nice.
that is nice.
their quarterback has a great name. It's like, I want to leave you or something like that.
Amada Lalava.
Yama
I'm a leave you or something like that.
I'm gonna
You
leave
guys
you
all got it.
in the
Nico's
Well
only one letter away from nice too.
Yeah. 69. Nico.
That's his jersey number now.
I'm a Leva. That's his name. I am a Leva. I am a Leva.
That's not even close.
It's how it's spelled. I will
It
give
is.
you that.
It is.
I am a
But it's
Leva.
not how it's pronounced.
He's a lever.
It's like Tua's last name, where and pronounce an N, even though there's not an N in there.
All right,
Okay.
fine. I was
Al,
right about his name though.
Yeah.
you were right. Al, why were you wrong?
So I again went 8-5 last week, so give me a little bit of grace here. But I definitely took App State plus 18.5.
Yeah.
And they didn't. They would have covered that if they didn't give up 66 points. So it's kind of hard to cover that. You got to score 50 to cover that one, and they only scored 20. So
How many
Oh,
quarters of the game did they cover that number in? Like individually? I'm gonna pull it up.
Al,
I'm not
if
sure.
they
I'm not
only-
confident it was any of them, but it could have
If
been.
they only played the second half, it was a 24-20 game. So you were close. You were close. That first quarter, I think you're up 35-0 really quick.
They
It was-
were.
it was
If I
surprising.
could have gotten the full game spread for the first half, I might have covered. I agree.
No, you wouldn't have covered that either.
the second half, you had a shot. You had a shot.
Clemson only won the second half by 3 points.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was a close game, close ball game. Danny, why were you wrong?
I was wrong about. I mean, I don't know if you guys listened, but I've been talking shit about the Canes for my whole life, and so far it appears that I was wrong.
Yeah,
do
I don't know.
feel
Well, you know what they say
Al
when you have
just
two
jinxed them.
when you have two quarterbacks, you don't have one.
That's
So
true.
I don't know
Pop-
when your quarterback
Poffenberger.
plays so well, he's got to sit on the bench and you bring your backup, and he's a little shaky. I don't know.
Poffenberger wasn't very good, whatever his name is.
Poffenberger cannot be a quarterback. He can't be good at quarterback. I don't know what Poffenberger would be
Puffenberger
good at.
needs some practice.
Poffenberger was damn good in Division II last year.
You know,
That'll
I
happen.
can't hear the last name Poffenberger and not think of Randy Macho Man Savage, because his name is Randy Poffo.
Ah.
Poffenberger, Poffo. Anyhow.
Poffenberger,
brother.
Poffenberger could be a world famous conductor, right? Like he can conduct an orchestra.
Oh.
He cannot conduct an offense at a D1 level for sure.
It could
Yeah,
also
didn't
be.
he do the theme to Interstellar?
He did. He works with Hans Zimmer all the time.
Yeah.
Poffenberger's the assistant.
BJ and Hans.
I feel like it could also be the name of like the specialty sandwich at some like really weird exotic
Oh.
bar.
Come get the Puffenburger. Made
Yeah,
from
I'll take my
Antarctic
Poffenburger
muffin.
medium well, please.
That's a Pittsburgh place for sure. You get a
Yeah.
Poffenburger
for sure.
in Pittsburgh.
Put fries
Yeah.
and coleslaw on it.
With it, some scrapple.
God,
Actually, a
that's
scrapple, coleslaw, and fry sandwich doesn't sound terrible.
wrong. That's boy, you're wrong again.
Boy, was I
Chris,
wrong.
Chris, why were you wrong this week?
So I wasn't on the college football podcast last week to make the pick, but I was texting in the thread this weekend, and I said, "Damn, Arkansas looks good." Made a bet, and right then they threw a pick six. I was wrong.
Ooh, well timed.
It was instantly, and I texted you guys right then.
That was
Oh
you?
shit, I'm a cooler.
You were. You were cool. You wronged them. I
I'm
think
wrong.
Arkansas was like big mad.
Well,
at
it's
you.
not like it was the difference in the game or anything.
Sam Pittman's gonna knock on your door tomorrow.
You want cold beer? All right. So I have a couple questions I'm gonna just throw out there to the group, and then we'll wrap this up for you guys. All right. So the SEC looks pretty set at that top two spots, right? You got Georgia, who looks pretty damn good. You got Texas, big ass win. But who would you say is the third best team in the SEC right now? I'm gonna start off with Andy. Andy, who you got?
Tennessee. I was wrong about Nico. I mean, I always thought he was gonna be good. I just thought it might take him a little time. He looks incredible. He can run. He can throw. Yeah, Tennessee.
Sunshine?
I mean, I'm gonna say Tennessee. But it's kind of tough. I got some close ones.
Al, what you got?
I actually love this question because initially I thought immediately it's going to be Tennessee, but under the interest of like looking for alternatives, there are actually two really good alternatives here. One that I think Matt probably prompted this question is Ole Miss.
He's going to talk about Dart.
But
yeah.
but the one that I like, Missouri.
That's the one I was going to go with, you jerk.
Oh, shit.
Don't assume anything. No, why do you like Missouri?
They've got the best receiver in college football, and they are hanging some fucking points on people. And it's early in the season, but it's under the radar team that's really good.
Dano, what do you like? What do you like?
Well, I mean, there's 10 teams in the SEC that are 2-0, but only one of them that's won an SEC matchup. So I feel like I got to go with South Carolina.
Hey, I like it.
Oh.
I like it. You'd be wrong, but I like it right now. No, I'm going to go Ole Miss, right? I think everyone's on the Tennessee train. Everyone's really buying the Tennessee hype, and Nico looks good. Nico was fun the other day, and they kicked the shit out of him. He wasn't even great, and that's a scary proposition, but
Yeah.
I want Lane Kiffin to be good so bad. I'm trying to manifest this. I need Lane Kiffin to get over the hump, win some of those tough games. And this ain't your father's SEC, right? But you know what's interesting? No one said Bama.
Not
It's
a team.
amazing.
They can't. I
Oh.
mean, I was making a joke mostly, but Bama could easily be the third best.
Not a good week for this question, I think.
Yeah.
If you want to hear Bama as an answer.
It's a great week for the question because I just wanted to get to the punchline that no one chose Bama.
And we didn't plan that.
Yep.
I actually, go ahead, Sonny, but I have a question about this topic too.
I was just going to say that one of the reasons that I do like Ole Miss is because of their their schedule. Because
Pretty easy.
well, it is in the beginning, which allows them to build confidence. It allows them to work out any kinks, and then you lay on the back half of the SEC. But like you said, Oklahoma didn't look like themselves, and that's like their that's going to be a tough one for them. Like that's what I thought initially, but everybody knows that UGA is the team to beat. So
Yeah, I think that's
in
fair.
all of football.
Doesn't matter the
well,
conference.
no. That's SEC and all of football. Miami's back.
I forgot. Let's do it. Let's do it as a team.
You baby, you. So this is like ADD brain, but so we just threw up the U for those people who are audio only. But that reminded me of what's the shithead former Ohio State coach?
You're
Urban
gonna have to
Meyer.
be more specific.
Meyer.
Trestle?
He was on college. He was on like college football or whatever. And they were talking about the Utah game, and whoever it was put the U up, and he goes, and Urban Meyer was like, no, we don't, not that U. You got to do this one. You can't do this one. That's Miami. And I was like, fuck you. Like, suck my dick. I'm not gonna catch strays from Urban Meyer, you fucking douchebag. But to circle back to SEC,
Okay.
You don't want to catch a stray finger from Urban Meyer.
that is for sure. Yeah, you don't want to
No.
be getting instructions on how to use your fingers from Urban Meyer. Is this by far the best quarterback Josh Heupel has had as a head coach?
Oh, for sure. Look, Hooker was pretty damn good. Nico, I think he's a redshirt freshman. Could be.
I'm trying to think of like who the UCF quarterbacks were in his heyday there. So
He had both of the really good ones. I don't remember their names right now.
Did he have
but
Milton?
Nico's like a lot better than all of those
He had
guys.
Mackenzie Milton, and then he had the guy who's playing for Oregon right now.
Dylan Gabriel.
Dylan
Yeah,
Gabriel.
Nico's
Dan
better than
Lawler.
both of them.
Yeah.
Nico might be better than both of them combined.
I think he will be.
I don't
he's
even think
gonna
there's
be
a
good.
might. I think that's very clear.
Mackenzie Milton won a national championship, though.
Yes.
The
Yes.
Coley
And this
Matrix.
afternoon, my
Oh,
son was
shoot. Did he get
pretending
really
was
into
a
cornhole?
doctor.
Yeah, he did. God bless the ColeyMatrix.com or whatever website that is. Actually consider real science. You can go to Single Leg Parlay. We will also be nominating a national champion this year, so make sure you take that as gospel when we give it to Rutgers. Rutgers did it.
That's actually a fantastic idea.
Can we send them a trophy? Like, whatever
Yeah.
split is, like,
Just
We're all
the
gonna
leg lamp.
make
Just
one
the
out
leg
of
lamp.
like
SLP.
art school art supplies. We're all gonna fly up to wherever the Heisman ceremony is or something, and
Greg Schiano would spike the shit out of that award. He'd be like, "Get this
Oh.
shit out of here."
He'd eat us for breakfast.
he'd be like, "What are you, a fucking asshole?"
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly verbatim what he would say.
I love
Similar
this idea. Somebody
question.
make a note.
Similar question. I think there's 3 really great teams in college football right now. Right, as we sit currently, I'm not Miami fans. Take it easy before I make the statement. But you got Georgia, Texas, and Ohio State. So, who is the second best team in the Big Ten? Who is the second best team in the Big Ten? Andy, you're a Big Ten official. Who you got?
I am, but I mean, I'm going to want to go with the first other team receiving votes.
Hell yeah.
The Fighting Illini. No, of course they're not the best. But if we win a few more, we might get ranked. I think it's, I don't know. It was a really tough one. Maybe USC.
I was going to say, are they good? Because they look pretty fucking good.
Yeah, and they have a little bit of a defense, which is not something that you could have said in prior years. So, I think if they'd had this defense with Caleb Williams, then it would be clear. But, quarterback still has to prove himself a little bit, I think. Miller Moss.
Al, you look like you're ready to go.
Yeah,
Al did not like that.
Well, what I didn't like is that Andy said this is tough. Like, there's like some serious competition for the second best team in the Big Ten, and then I started looking. I was like, well, actually, Penn State barely beat Bowling Green. It's like, all right. So like the more I sat here stewing on
They're
it, the more I
still
was like,
in,
he might have a point. But
There's a big group of teams there that have a lot of talent and could be really good.
and are
but-
clearly not the best team
Yeah.
in the conference.
Yeah, so
but I'm gonna
it's-
say Nebraska. I'm all in.
Wow.
Whoa.
You're in the
Whoa.
Matt Rule hype train. They looked fucking good the other day. Their offensive line looked awesome.
Everybody looks good when they play against Colorado,
That's
Fade
true.
Nebraska next week, boys.
except TCU.
I'm gonna parlay whoever's playing Nebraska with whoever's playing Miami.
Can you seriously tell me you think like Nebraska, like Penn State is that much better than Nebraska or USC even for that
Yeah.
matter? Like I'm not in on
Yes.
USC. Like
Yes.
for
Penn
sure
State,
not.
I will say definitively. I'm sure that game will
Washington is that much better than Nebraska too.
Well, you know, Penn State are
I
cowards
don't
and they
know.
don't have Nebraska on their schedule this year, so we will
They left
find
them
out.
off.
Yeah, they left them off the schedule. But
Chris,
we do
you think
we do get Nebraska USC in November though. That could be
looks
could be interesting.
fun as hell.
But y'all will have certainly forgotten about this conversation by then.
This
I-
question is irrelevant when that time
I
comes.
win.
Chris, who you got?
I think that because Oregon has fucking been really shitty these last 2 weeks, I think we're writing them off, but maybe they'll get their shit together.
Yeah, Oregon has had some interesting offensive line issues where they've been scrambling the line like in the middle of the game. They're just like shift everyone one spot right, and then the right tackle becomes the left tackle. It's like some sort of weird synchronized dance. They haven't figured it out because of injuries, but there's a ton of fucking talent on that team, and we'll see what they do when they get rectified. Dano, who are you choosing in the Big Ten?
I mean, the obvious answer is Penn State, but if we're gonna go past that, I'm going with Washington.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say
Um,
Wisconsin after they beat Bama.
Whew.
No,
That is-
I'm
Oh,
going
okay.
with Washington because I think that the quarterback's pretty good, and I think that that whole team wasn't built based off Penix. So I think that they have a lot
Wow.
coming back this year.
Sure do love us some Penix.
We're Penix lovers
Dude,
here
love
for
it.
sure.
Big Penix.
Love
I'm gonna go Penn State for sure. I think Penn State's really good. I think it was a bad week. I think they were reading the press clippings, kicked the shit out of West Virginia, sleptwalk through Bowling Green, and BG almost got them. Almost been a banner week for the MAC. But you boys got
That would've
anything
been
else?
Nah.
All right.
was good.
Oh, no, that's it, right? Sorry.
Make sure you follow us on all the socials. We love y'all. We make content for you. If you didn't follow us last week, you lost out on free money. It's crazy. Why do you not like money? Are you allergic to it? YouTube, Instagram, definitely on TikTok. TikTok is where we're most active. And hit that singlelegparlay.com website, subscribe, and let us give the picks directly to you. You don't have to do shit. You check your email like you do anything else, and cash checks, baby. For Al, Danny, Andy, Sunshine, I'm Matt. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks for listening to the newly rebranded Single Leg Parlay podcast. Visit our website at www.singlelegparlay.com, where you can read more of our thoughts as well as subscribing to our newsletter to have our picks delivered straight to your inbox each week. And don't forget to follow Single Leg Parlay on all of your favorite social media platforms. Cheers!